Stillwater, and this is going to be directly north of me, maybe a mile. There's a lot of motion in there. We've got southeast winds blowing into it. I'm going to say 25 to 30, so there's plenty of inflow there, Aaron. There's a lot of motion, a lot of rotation, and there's been some rising motion. Like you said, we had that one funnel. Looks like that new one that tried to form there is blown out. But should stay just to the north of Stillwater and track over between Stillwater and Glencoe. Like I said, we're here on Glencoe Road between Stillwater and Glencoe, headed to the east there.
Those pictures right here. So this is Stillwater looking at it. The lightning is impressive. You can see the green, so there's some hail falling in this. Go ahead and start with the big picture. I want to show you exactly where the tornado warning is. All the storms converging into a line, a big complex that's now beginning to sink off to the south and southeast. It is working south now, so it was moving north. There's the tornado warning polygon. It includes the north sides of Stillwater. It includes Glencoe. So if you're in these areas, tornado shelter, underground, interior room. If you don't have below ground shelter, away from windows, there's the velocity. See how it's really tightened up really quickly here? So this is likely, if it doesn't turn real hard, it's going to go north of immediate Stillwater. But folks in Stillwater, still tornado precautions. There's going to be some wind-driven hail with this too, and it's going to go just south of Glencoe, but not by much. If it turns to the left, it's going to go into Glencoe. This is mid-level rotation here. This is low-level rotation. So we've got two different radar tilts looking at this here, and you can see where the red and the green come together. That's a pretty decent spin, and a lot of inflow coming in the backside of that. Here's the hail. The hail is very large right now. Let's go over to Steve Johnson, the Foresight drone, looking at that lowering. Steve?
Hey, Aaron. I'm actually on the Dover storm. I'm looking back at the Dover storm. I'm not on the Stillwater storm. Dillard and Freeman are up on Stillwater. So I'm looking at Dover due west of me right now, and every once in a while we'll see a little bit of a lowering, a little bit of a walk-out feature here. This storm. Prominent at this point. But I probably Stillwater storm. Aaron, back there.
Yeah, that's the forward feature that you're showing us too. We are going to get back to the Stillwater storm. Let's go to the links. I want to show you what Steve is looking at too. That's tornado warning here. All right, the storm is strong. It's growing. It's right here. This is Kingfisher County right here. This storm is now beginning to take a right-hand turn. That's going to be a threat in the coming hours for the northern Oklahoma City metro. But really, the highest importance right now, or the highest concern, is this tornado warning that we have right here. So this is going to be, again, between Glencoe and Stillwater. Let's go back to Corey Inman because he's right here in between. He's looking at that rotation, that circulation coming at him. Lightning rates have really gone up as the circulation's increased. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, we're right here. Excuse me, we're right here in the notch. You can see the rotation here, just back over my shoulder here, almost right over Coyle Road. This is the area where we had the funnel. We picked up a tremendous amount of wind there just a second ago. I'm going to say probably 30 or 35 blowing into it now. So inflow into this area is picking up right now, Aaron. This thing continues to track almost just south of due east. So it's going to go, should put it coming right into Glencoe here. Like I said, it's right behind me on Glencoe Road here. Panning in there, I don't have a funnel like we had earlier. Just that wall cloud there with a lot of rotation in it. It does have, some fingers hanging off the bottom of it there, but no defined funnel. And this thing extends from, like I said, right here behind me on Glencoe Road just to the north. So it should be coming right into Glencoe, maybe just on the south side here.
All right, we're going to stay right with you here. Let's go to velocities here on the Lynx 1. So here's the tornado warning. I'm going to back out and we'll take a look at this. So where are we? This is Payne County here. This is going to be Logan County, and this is Lincoln County right here. Oklahoma City's down off the screen. So we pushed in here, and you can see the rotation, how it really started to ramp up. Here comes the tornado warning. There it is. So this is going to include Glencoe. Where's Stillwater in all this? We'll put on. So there's Stillwater. There's the Oklahoma State campus on the north side. And the heaviest of the rotation is already by pretty much all of Stillwater right now. So severe thunderstorm warning continues for Stillwater. Could be some hard hail. We are talking about Glencoe. So just as Corey was talking about, here's the rotation, the center of it, right there. So Glencoe about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're counting city streets here, about 5.5 miles off the west-southwest. So With any luck, we're going to keep it in between these two cities right here. It looks like that's what it's trying to do right now, but that circulation is still quite tight. The last couple radar scans look a little better. It's a little more loose. You see the shape of it has changed. The reds and the greens are not bright, really bright colors right next to each other, adjacent to each other. However, there still is a developing tornado aloft in the air right there. Let's take the Stillwater camera and take a look at that, because you can see, looking off to the north, all the lightning here. This is a wall of not only rain, but hail. That's Stillwater. Warning continues 8:45 of Payne County. It's 8:23 right now. Corey Inman, go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, continuing on Glencoe Road here, and you can see the lowering here behind me, and I'm moving away from it, and you can see the rotation in that lowering here in the shot. It's right over Coyle Road. That's probably the largest, most well-defined lowering that we've had.
Yes, sir, not. With the Stillwater, I was kind of to the west and southwest of Stillwater. As the storm kind of split a little bit, there was two areas of rotation and high winds that we were looking at, and it almost looked like the storm was going to dive almost directly south, and then it kind of spun in on itself and began to pull away to the east again. And there's still energy available to the east, and I think that area is and dominant again and again. At energy Highway 51, they have a pretty hail core off to the north side end, and embedded high winds on the wraparound. Back to you, Aaron.
Yeah, we can see the hail coming into Stillwater and the Stillwater camera right now, and that's going to be a big problem aside from the developing tornado. Corey Inman's with us. Let's go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, Aaron, still here on Glencoe Road. Let me give you my exact location. I'm going to be 3 miles to the west-southwest of Glencoe on Glencoe Road, looking back to the west. You can see the lowering here. When you came to me last time, you could actually see how fast that lowering was spinning. It looks like it's trying to gust out there on the south side now. There's not a funnel, no tornado there, but there is a lot of rotation, a lot of motion in there. And looking at the present track, it's going to go just to the south of Glencoe. This is almost it's still north of Glencoe Road. And if you look behind the power pole here, Aaron, we may be having a funnel trying to form. I'll zoom in here a little bit, but we just don't have that big blocky feature like we had when you came to me just a few minutes ago. Looks like the south end's gusting out, but there's a lot of motion in there, and especially the cloud base. There's some rising motion there just behind that utility pole that you see there in the center of the shot. So people in Glencoe, heads up, this thing means business moves in, Aaron. Yeah, we did have 25 to 30 mile an hour inflow. I'd say right now, Aaron, we've probably got, I'm going to say 15 to 20. We had that really big burst of inflow winds there, and that was kind of when that lowering just really firmed up tight. And now they've kind of slacked off a little bit. So not near as much inflow as we had going into it just a few minutes ago.
Okay, appreciate that. Right there, Corey Inman. Let's go to Mike Bennett. He's in a little different part of the storm. Again, tornado warning continues for far northern Payne County right now until 8:45. Mike Bennett coming up on some damage near Enid. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Aaron, we're out here on Highway 412 east of Enid, and this is a rollover accident where the semi was blown off the highway. And so anyway, they're waiting on I talked to the county emergency managers in Garfield County. They're waiting on a rollover
Highway 81 in Hennessy, it's going to turn a little bit. All right, so we're looking at some very, very high resolution, hyper-local data. It's going to keep turning, and as it does so, it'll come into the wind. It'll get a little bit better rotation and circulation. So again, between Stillwater and Glencoe, tornado warning continues. I want to briefly go out to this storm in Kingfisher County with Steve Johnson and the Foresight drone. Look at that wall cloud there, Steve. Is it rotating?
Yeah, Aaron, it is. I'm sitting here still just south of Crescent at 74 and 33, looking back to that west-northwest. You know, you see a little bit of motion in there every once in a while. You know, it keeps getting lower. The drone is up about 250 feet above the ground right now. So you can get an idea of how low that wall cloud is based on, the drone being up 250 feet. So, and I'm a ways away from where the storm is, just so I can avoid the rain and all that. But, it gets lower. It has some movement. It looks like it's, this one kind of formed out in front of the previous wall cloud that I had. And it seems to be moving a little bit more southeast than the other one did. So that's, you were talking about it kind of turning right a little bit. So that's what I've been noticing with this one right here. But I'm in a good spot. I'm going to keep an eye on it. And if I see anything start to develop real fast, I'll let you know. Aaron, back to you.
All right, we appreciate that. Yeah, so that's going to be a threat in about the next hour to 2 hours for the
winds in Stillwater.
250 feet up, and you can see we're almost looking down at the bottom of that. So it's very, very low. There's air moving up into the storm. The storm itself is not very big, but it does have decent updraft with it. Back to Lynx 1 here. So again, severe thunderstorm warnings all along this line. There are winds to 70 miles per hour. There's golf ball plus size hail with this. And as we look here, this is the tornado warning storm in northern parts of Payne County. So Glencoe Road is right about there. That's where Corey Inman has been. So we're continuing to walk that area. Let's go back to him. That rotation is still there, Corey.
Yeah, Aaron, it's still right here just behind me. Still 3 miles to the west of Glencoe, and this thing it's moving in right on top of me here, so we're gonna have to slide with it. There's a tremendous amount of rotation in here, Aaron. It just hasn't quite done it yet. We've had a couple of funnels here, but no tornado, and we'll get a wall cloud to form up, and we'll get a little funnel out of it, and then it'll dust out, and we'll get a new wall cloud to form where the old one was. So, like I said, we're 3 miles to the west of Glencoe, coming east. So, right here on Glencoe Road, and the area of rotation is right here with me.
So, new wind gusts about 5 minutes ago at the Stillwater Airport, which is on the northwest side of town. Let's go to Lynx. I want to show you where that is. Gusts of 70 miles per hour. So that's going to be the downdraft. So the rear flank downdraft here coming in behind it.
Pretty good winds in Stillwater.
And these winds right here, moving away from the radar, just off to the north. So these are winds gusting to 70 at the ground level. So that is straight line wind in addition to the tornado threat. Which you can see the circulation right there. It is still there. It might be trying to wrap up and kind of fold in on itself right here. We're watching that area. So Stillwater itself, except far northern Stillwater, out of the tornado warning polygon, in the severe warning polygon, we know there are winds to 70 miles per hour rolling through town right now. So again, take cover in Stillwater. Straight line wind damage can very much happen. You can have considerable damage with winds like that. Let's go to Mark Dillard. He's watching this too. The winds blasting through. So tiny bit more outflow dominant now, but as we've seen at cycles, tornado warning continues northern Payne County. Mark Dillard, go.
That's right, Aaron. The sirens continue to sound in Stillwater proper. I want to see folks forewarned on if you're in Stillwater proper to the south and west side, you're not in a tornado area, okay? You're okay. You'll have those high winds though, can be damaging. I've already seen some ancillary tree limb and leaf damage, debris kind of blowing around, loose things. As we're coming down 51 here to the main part of Stillwater by the courthouse. The OSU campus is clear for the tornado warning. So just be vigilant here in Stillwater about the high winds that are starting to blow around. Aaron, in fact, I had a south wind as I was coming into town. Now I've got a north wind on the east side. So there's definitely opposing winds blowing around here that you get knocked one way and then the other. And then, of course, you've got the tornado warning off to the east and northeast of Stillwater proper. Back to you.
All right, appreciate that. Yeah, so big time wind threat for sure. And as we've seen, we had this storm a while ago, but this exact storm had winds measured at 96 miles per hour. So very, very high level winds and there. And Marcus is passing through Stillwater right now. And we've had, again, semis blowing off the road with this storm. It has to have a pretty big history. Let's go to Lynx. Corey Inman on deck right now. He was right there near Glencoe. So the circulation, the rotation, and the velocities have come down. In fact, they look to be more broad. They look to be a little bit more outflow dominant. However, I'm watching this jet come in on the back side. This is going to be just north of Stillwater. So these are winds moving basically from the north and west to the south and east right here. That could try to spin something up and push it up at the kind of the apex or the beginning of the storm. We'll go ahead and look at what this looks like. Let's put radar sites here, get a different look at it. So there you go. It's not moving that fast. That's another thing. So flooding is going to be a problem. Winds to 70 already measured. So 70 are certainly possible. And as we look at this, it's really not moving at all. So heavy rain, and a lot of the circulation is rain wrapped. So it's wrapped in rain. It's really hard to see. Broad circulation here. Yeah, look at that, kind of diving down the backside. This is all wind diving down from the backside. So this is going to move into Stillwater. It's going to give us an enhanced threat of severe winds. Let's look at the Stillwater camera, then go to Corey Inman. So the Stillwater camera, last time I checked, it was really rocking and rolling out there. And you can see the storm. This is all hail. This is wind-driven rain and hail off to the north. There it is shaking. There's lots of lightning. So big time heads up for Stillwater. Look at the lightning. Very vivid there. Corey Inman, let's go ahead. Tornado warning continues.
Yeah, Aaron, here just to the southwest of Glencoe. I've kind of zoomed in here at this new lowering that's formed just to our west. There still continues to be quite a bit of motion in there. A lot of rotation at the cloud base. There's a little bit of rising scud in there. It's not as prominent as what it was before. Like you said, it's tried to gust out 2 or 3 times, and then it recycles. If I zoom out here, you can actually see the entire mesocyclone here. Looks like we may be getting another little lowered area right there in the center. So still some rotation, still a possible tornado as it moves into Glencoe. So folks in Glencoe need to go ahead and continue with their tornado precautions. We're not quite through with this thing just yet, Aaron.
A lot of really soupy air, a lot of humidity. That's not what we have.
Got a bit of a lowering in Stillwater here.
Let's go to Lynx 1. Actually, let's go to the OSU camera. We'll take a look at that. We're going to stay real tight with Corey. That's our Stillwater camera. Taking a look at it shaking at the airport on the northwest side of town now. About 10 minutes ago, a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. There's the campus. You can see the rain is falling right now. There's going to be some hail in here, too. So golf ball-sized hail is going to be possible and likely as the storm continues to slowly drift only about 15 to 20 miles per hour off to the south and east. So Lynx 1, we'll take a look at that here as we continue to watch our multiple cameras all around. So the rotation is not as strong. It's not as tight. However, this kind of blast right here coming in from the back, so red in this instance is going to be away from the radar. So the radar is off to the north.
High wind, Stillwater. High wind, Stillwater.
Glencoe, the main circulation is right in between. But this blast of wind right here is what gave us that 70-mile-per-hour reading at the Stillwater Airport. So that's going to be a concern. Small community of Ingalls right here. Heads up, not in the tornado warning or the severe thunderstorm warning, but that's likely going to be extended. Again, it's just moving so slowly. And then as we continue to watch Perkins, heads up, too. It's on your way. It's on the way there. And we're also watching storms that are off here. These are not tornado warned, but they are definitely worth watching. This one right here in northern parts of Logan County. So there is some spin, there is some circulation with this. Not really tight tornadic circulation, but there's a lot of movement out there in the clouds. Let's go up to Steve Johnson real quickly if we have him on the line. Steve Johnson's in the interceptor, and he's been kind of up and down with the foresight drone. There it is. I mean, that's a persistent mesocyclone. So there you go. I mean, you can see as he zooms in just how low this is. Why do the clouds look like this? Well, the storm has a lot of updraft energy, and as it gets sucked up, it actually lowers the cloud base. So within this zone right here, the lower clouds, this is where air is moving up into the storm. Steve, you're seeing some rotation in there. You've been watching that very carefully. How's it looking?
Yeah, that's right, Aaron. I'm still keeping an eye on this storm. It's up there
Yeah, that's a really impressive looking stack of clouds right there for sure. Steve Johnson near Dover. So back to Lynx 1, just want to pass this along. So we have a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust at the airport in Stillwater. Now it's up to 86. So 86-mile-per-hour wind gust. So these winds are just ripping in the backside. So where's the airport? It's going to be right here on the northwest side.
High winds in Stillwater.
Diving in. You can actually see the movement right there. It's diving in, and that's going to be causing these high-level winds. You can see them right here. So the red is those high-level winds moving in. Let's check in with Mark Dillard. Mark, winds in the Stillwater area, 86 miles per hour. That's going to be some significant damage. Go ahead.
Yes, Aaron, for sure, for some trees, power line, loose things blowing around, and maybe even structures that aren't anchored very well or sturdy, like trailer homes. So again, if you're out ahead of this storm, go ahead and take your shelter precautions. Evacuate a mobile home or a home that is not well established. Got some big winds coming across here. I'm downtown on Main and 51 again, and this is the second time now, Aaron. As I was coming in, I had south winds coming into the storm, and now I've got north winds coming out of it. The airport's going to be off to my north and west about 3 or 4 miles on the opposite side of campus, and still have a pretty good, kind of can make out some kind of a base on this other side, the opposing side from where the tornado warning is, and the sirens had been going off in Stillwater. There's also an accident back on the west side, on the east side of Stillwater at Murray and 51, I believe it's the intersection. So Stillwater police on scene with that. I don't believe it's weather related, except maybe if the sirens was flaring and someone was a little disoriented about what's going on. Maybe couldn't see the red light or whatnot. But do be careful if you're out in the Stillwater area for sure. The winds in pockets are very, very high. Back to you.
Okay, appreciate that. So the tornado warning is still out for another 4 minutes in northern Payne County, but we've had non-tornado wind speeds of 86 miles per hour. That's measured. So it was 70, that was 86 at the Stillwater Airport. Big deal up there. Mark Dillard's getting closer to it. We'll check in with him in a little bit. Let's go back to Lynx. Then we'll check in with Corey Inman here coming up. He's got a pretty good lowering that you can watch. It's in the upper left-hand corner of your screen right now. So there's the spin. It's really broadened out. The velocity of both looks pretty messy. Messy is good. It means that nothing's really concentrated and zeroing in on any one position. We still watch this area to spin. That's going to be in parts of Logan County, and then over here, off to the west, into Kingfisher County, near Dover. That's what Steve Johnson's looking at. That's the bottom left picture of your screen. So all these are up so we can watch multiple storms at the same time. There's no tornado warning on that feature at all, but it is severe warning. So this is the cell. It's not very big. Hand back up to it. This is the cell. This is the lower left-hand side of your screen, right there. So there's spin with this, and it's going to continue diving a little bit more to the south and east. As that happens, it's going to ingest more air into it. It's going to spin. So you can see the lowering. Steve Johnson's Foresight drone shot. He's about 250 feet up in the air. We've had a little bit more back here to the north and east. So there's the tornado warning. We'll see if that continues for sure. I mean, there's weak tornado winds in here, straight line wind, wind damage with us. Let's go to Corey Inman. 86 mile per hour winds now coming into Stillwater. Go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, we're just south of Glencoe here, and like you said, this thing's tried to gust out several times. The rotation's broadened out, but we still continue with that one area in there. We just have a lot of motion. There's a bunch of intense cloud rail lightning in there as well, which tells us it's not really losing strength, maybe gaining strength a little bit. So just trying to navigate the roads up here. Of course, they've had a lot of really heavy rain the last several days, and county roads aren't good. So we're trying to keep up with it as it pulls to our north here. Just
southern parts of Logan County, and then at least try to graze the northern OKC metro by about 10 o'clock. As it gets a cold pool behind it, it'll accelerate slightly and move off to the south. With tornado warning, you also notice this warning right here. Let's go ahead and click on it. So that includes Stillwater. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning, but the reason it's peach color, go ahead, stop. There we go. Peach because it's destructive severe thunderstorm warning, and your phone may have gone off from this in this area because, again, we've had the wind measured 86. That's the same as a weak low-end tornado. That's coming down the backside of the rotation, the backside of the velocity into Stillwater. Let's go to Mark Dillard. He's been heading north toward the Stillwater Airport with that measured gust. Mark Dillard, watching it carefully. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And the northwest side dramatically different than the southeast side of Stillwater, with this now pocket of high wind and rain really coming down up here on the northwest side of the airport area to the northwest side of the OSU campus. So folks want to get inside so that wind's really starting to pick up here, Aaron. You got blowing spray now as I top the hill, coming up past fire station number 2 on the northwest side of Stillwater, over by the airport area. So it's really coming down in buckets and becoming quite a dangerous situation if you're out trying to drive. We've got opposing winds at times blowing you around and almost blinding rain at times. So keep that in mind for folks in Stillwater proper, primarily on the west side. And it's a flooding rain too. I've got curb flooding also up here, Aaron. So just keep that in mind. Stay inside in a sturdy structure away from north and west facing windows. Yeah, back to you.
All right, appreciate that, Mark Dillard. Great information for folks. Now, here's the good thing I can tell you, 8:45, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So you'll see it right here. There it was, northern parts of Payne County. It is no longer. However, it's been replaced with this high-end severe thunderstorm warning. So you can see it right here in the peach coloring. It includes Glencoe, it includes Stillwater, almost the small community of Ingalls right there, just south of Highway 51. So that is ongoing. And then the other severe thunderstorm
Come back to me real quick. Come back to me.
Into Logan County and then to northwestern Kingfisher County. Real quick, we're going to send you back to programming in a second. Of course, we're not going anywhere. Let's go to Steve Johnson. He's looking at the back side of this. And the reason I'm kind of keying in on this area is because it has a lot of uninterrupted flow from the south and east. And that's a lot of fuel going into it. So, I mean, pretty classic look right there, Steve. It's tiny, but it's definitely a classic little supercell. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. He needs to get on the air right now, so let's take Mark.
Over to Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm at the airport now here in Stillwater, and you can tell the complete difference from just a couple of minutes ago. I'm looking for kind of wind damage from that +mile-an-hour wind gusts that they have here. It's almost like it's a downburst here on the back side, which we've seen with these storms up here today. We've seen earlier downbursts of not a wind situation, but this is just a maelstrom at the ground level with this blowing spray and very, very strong wind. So wouldn't be out of the question to have any kind of wind damage and some tree and power line issues. So Stillwater proper for sure is coming in from the north and west side of the airport. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it was some sort of a downburst. Look at the absolute hurricane he's in. Torrential rainfall. It's so humid out there. The atmosphere is totally saturated. Let's go to Lynx 1. You can see a downburst signature on this. Not the last couple of frames, but right about here. So the green, that's going to be air moving right there, the green, moving off that direction. And then the red right here at the beginning. Okay, that's going to be air moving over radar. So they're kind of separating out. And what happens is the air, rain-cooled air rushes toward the ground, has nowhere to go, so it goes out. It splits out. And that's why we got the 86 mile per hour wind gust at the airport, which is right about there on the northwest side of Stillwater. So tornado warning is gone, but it's been replaced with this high-end severe thunderstorm warning with the destructive tag. This is kind of the damage that you can expect. So destructive damage is possible and likely with that storm right there. Let's go back to, let's see.
Come back to me. Come back to me.
Let's go to Mark. Go back to Mark Dillard.
Aaron, it is really rolling up here at the Stillwater Airport. absolutely rocking and rolling. I mean, I had to face the truck into the wind. It is coming right at me, probably sustained at 65, going to 70 at least. It is really, really flowing. I don't know if can't really do it justice there with the camera as much as it is to the naked eye, but literally an ongoing, likely downbursting situation here, just right on top of the airport. I'm not going to be surprised if we don't have some hangar or some structure damage up here when this thing gets done, because it's rocking and rolling up here. The winds primarily are from my north and east, so the downburst must be off to my north and east here, going across the Stillwater Airport area with some light debris and some signage damage. Back to you.
All right, Mark, we can see it on radar right now. Let's take Lynx 1, take a look at this. So here's the downburst. Here's the Stillwater Airport right there. All right, so I've switched radar sites. We're looking at the radar that's off to the south. So this is all, the green is all movement to the south. So here's the winds coming in right here. And these are up a little bit in the atmosphere. As they get lower, they accelerate. So the rain is coming down and pushing. It's pushing down and out. So there's this northeast wind coming in from the north and east. This is on the west side of Stillwater. So destructive storm happening right now as these winds are coming in. So you can actually see it in real time right here. So there's the winds diving in, and this is slowly moving east. This whole downburst is slowly moving east into Stillwater right now. So damage is going to be likely in Stillwater going forward. Let's go ahead and let's go back to Mark Dillard real quick. Mark?
Yeah, Aaron, just continuing with this rain, and it's starting to let up wind-wise. So the main damaging wind is blowing off to the immediate south and west of the Stillwater Airport area proper, I believe. If you can see the amount of rain that's coming down here, flooding rain as well. So I'm gonna go around and we'll still continue with the good 50, 60 mile an hour wind sustained. I'm gonna go around and kind of look for any visual damage I can see. I just know that we've had a few road signs kind of bent over, as you can see there, but I'm sure there's going to be some more, kind of loose things and maybe even some structural damage. Once this kind of passes by, we'll continue to check things out here in Stillwater proper. But I do ask that folks stay inside and stay in shelter while the storm passes. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, he was right in the middle of it, having to turn the vehicle into the wind instead of having to hit the broadside, having to turn it into the wind up there in Stillwater. So very high-level winds coming down. It started as a tornado warning, and now it's straight-line winds. When you have winds of 86 miles per hour, there's going to be some damage. So he's going to be looking at that. For now, the winds have calmed down somewhat. We're looking at it on velocities. They've calmed down, but still a high-end severe thunderstorm warning continues for Payne County. Let's go to the Lynx 1 here. We'll send you back to programming, but just briefly, I want to show folks what's going on. So this is basically the only deal in the state that's worth really watching. There's other storms in southwest Garfield County. Those will approach Enid, Bison, Hennessy, actually moving north of Hennessy. So that will have gusts of 40 miles per hour. Watching this storm closely here in parts of Logan County. So Logan County, that's a rotating supercell that Steve Johnson with the Foresight drone has been tracking carefully. And then, of course, this storm near Stillwater.
You can come to me if you want to.
Actually, let's go to Corey Inman. Corey, interesting looking cloud right there. What do you got?
Aaron, I'm just to the east of Stillwater, just a couple of miles north of Highway 51. That's actually looking up into the area where Dillard had all the high velocity winds. That's pushing out. The mezzo that caused the tornado warning got completely wrapped up in rain several minutes ago, so we had to come south to get out of the rain. But you can tell there's, and as Dillard was reporting, just a lot of high velocity winds getting ready to come through Stillwater and then eventually down to Ripley and Perkins, Aaron.
And that's what I was afraid of, Aaron, was any aircraft that may not have been in a hangar or well secured. Obviously, this one got flipped over here. Single engine aircraft. Just as the winds were coming in right on top of the Stillwater Regional Airport. So I have no doubt that it doesn't take a whole lot of wind to move a plane around really on the ground. But you get something going to 80, and it's going to flip it, as you can see right there. So, obviously a little bit of damage ongoing here at the Stillwater Airport, and they'll get out and assess this after the storm comes by. But blinding rain, heavy rainfall, damaging winds for sure. So up in Stillwater and off to the south and east, and batten down the hatches and take shelter. Back to you.
Okay, so here's the science behind this. An airplane like this, a small single engine, they cruise about 65, 70, 80 miles an hour. So that's how much airspeed, incoming wind they need to stay afloat, stay in the air. Well, we just had an 86 mile per hour wind gust at the airport. So what that does is it gets under the wing, which is shaped to provide lift. And unfortunately, lift this plane got right here with those winds that came by. You're seeing it right now on Mark's screen right here. So he's kind of zooming in. And it looks like it was, hey, Mark, can you tell? It's really hard because it's raining, of course, but I don't know if there's any sort of metal skid marks or skid marks where it might have removed from its location. I know sometimes they tie down the wings on these, sometimes not. In this case,
there's another plane just off to, in fact, I can even see another plane over there. So this is a tie-down area, but I can't tell if that other plane has been moved or not, and where this one was moved from. There's a lot of construction going on here at the Stillwater Airport, and so I don't know if these planes were moved because they've got hangar construction going on and terminal construction, but this is probably a regular tie-down area, and no telling how far this plane got flipped from on an 86 plus mile an hour wind gust. So I'm going to continue to check the area out up here. And again, folks in the path of the storm, be ready because this means business. Back to you.
All right, appreciate that, Mark. Yeah, so if there's plane slip, there's going to be other damage elsewhere. Again, airplanes, they're light, they're aluminum, they're meant to glide in the air. They're meant for, the wind, obviously, 65, 70, 75 mile an hour flight cruising wind to provide lift on the wings. And if they're tied down or not tied down sufficiently, the wind will come up under the wings and actually lift them. They can bounce, even when they're tied down. And of course, they can flip like what happened here. So unfortunate for the owner of that aircraft right there. But we're hoping that everyone else is okay in their homes, where they are, in their vehicles in this area. Mark came in on the backside of this downburst, this 86 mile per hour wind, and it was rocking his car. He had to turn the car into it to avoid more problems than what he had. So he's going to go look for some more damage. We've sent that report in right now, and we've confirmed those wind speeds way up to, again, 96 miles per hour near Breckenridge earlier. That's to the east of Enid on Highway 412. There was a semi flipped over there. Mike Bennett had that. And now at the Stillwater Airport, the airplane unfortunately inverted as it was on the tarmac there a little bit earlier. So no tornado warnings right now. Let's go back to Lynx 1. Just some pressure video right here from Mark Dillard and all of our trackers continuing to watch this middle screen right here. That's the Foresight drone. That's looking at this storm that does have some rotation. It's next to the crescent by about 6 to 7 miles. So that's a small supercell. It has basically unimpeded airflow into it. So it's been rotating for about an hour. We're going to watch that. These are all taking a right-hand turn. So pull the view back. Here's Oklahoma City. That cell moving really slow, but that's going to be a threat for central Logan County and brushing the northern sides of Edmond here as we go about the next hour to hour and a half. New severe thunderstorm warning covers Perkins and Cushing. Seeing a little bit of an outflow boundary right now pushing south, and hopefully that's a good sign, because as that gets ahead of the main storms, that means that the storm is kind of exhaling and breathing out a little bit, but still for sure high-level winds right there. Mark, let's go back to Mark again real quick. Do you have some more damage? It looks like insulation. Go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, I can't exactly tell what that's roof lining or what that is exactly, but they've got construction on the new terminal building here at the Stillwater Airport, that the OSU terminal and the airport terminal building. So they've got a lot of construction material laying around. So I don't know if that was loose and got flipped around, or if that's off of a main structure, or what it is. I'm still kind of trying to look around. I've got some insulation into the fence. So things obviously got blown around pretty good up here at the airport. I'm going to continue to look around. But again, we've had an 86 plus mile an hour wind gust here at the airport proper on the northwest side of Stillwater. Back to you.
Okay. Thank you for that, Mark. He's going to continue looking for damage up there. there in the Stillwater area where measured wind gusts of 86. And here's the deal, and we say measured wind gusts. There's measurement sites at every airport. There's the Mesonet sites, 120 of them in the state. We have the best Mesonet network in the country. But even in the miles in between those stations, oftentimes there are higher gusts than that. So we measured 86. It's possible somebody had a 90, a 95. We already had a 96 measured in central Garfield County, Breckenridge, Highway 412, that rolled a semi off of 412. That was earlier on. So it's entirely possible some winds were 90 plus miles per hour. They've slowly calmed down just a little bit. Look at velocity here. The velocity tells us where the wind and the rain and the hail, which direction it's moving, how fast it's moving. So we've calmed things down. Earlier, this had a tornado warning. Still some damaging wind possible coming into Stillwater, but it's calmed down just a little bit. That is good. And then we look here, new severe thunderstorm warning. We'll reset that. New severe thunderstorm warning for, this is just a little bit deeper into Logan County, so it now includes Guthrie. You can see that polygon that's been added on. There's the rotation. I mean, it's persistent. Look at that. It's persistent. So we'll go ahead and stop this. So here we go. This is persistent rotation. The green is toward the radar. The red is away. Steve Johnson still got the foresight drone up. Steve, that's rotation. No imminent tornado right now, but that little supercell is rotating. And it looks like it has a feeder band to the right. Is that what that is?
It is, Aaron. And you know what? The wind just shifted just a few minutes ago through here. It was a really good, just a steady south wind. And now the winds are, they switched to the north, and now they're almost out of the northeast, blowing southeast. But yes, there is a little bit of a feeder band. I've got the drone down at a lower level now just because of the high wind, and it was not liking that. But you can, and there'll be a little bit of a delay, but I'm going to zoom in on that feeder band that you were talking about here. So you should see it here in just a second. But yeah, there's definitely some, still some rotation with this one. Nothing imminent, but, it's definitely scary looking clouds and all that. But, the big thing now is just that wind shift that came through here. I'm right here by a fireworks stand, and they are trying to batten down the hatches right now with, wind that came through just a couple minutes ago. Aaron, back to you.
Yeah, that's a good idea for those people. We had some blown over firework stands yesterday with some of the storms that came through different parts of the state. So foresight drone looking at a small supercell now coming into western parts, now central parts, or eventually central parts of Logan County. So back to Lynx, this is the storm that he's looking at right now.
Storm northwest of Hennessy is now severe.
Okay, storm northwest of Hennessy is severe. We'll show that. Here's the velocity. It's actually come up the last scan, so there it is. That's the storm Steve Johnson has in his foresight drone. So severe thunderstorm warning, Cimarron City, Cedar Valley, and Guthrie now included in that. So that's been extended and expanded right now. So that's now included, and that foresight drone shot right there. So right here in the screen, this is what we're looking at right here on radar. So no tornado warning with it, but again, there's a significant amount of velocity and rotation now. You can actually see a little bit coming into that. And where's this going to go? This is going to work its way toward the North Metro in about the next hour to hour and a half. There's an outflow boundary it's interacting with too. So we'll see if that does anything to it. And as Emily here is saying, we're team coverage. Emily Sutton is in here now. New severe thunderstorm warning for southern, southwestern Garfield County. This is going to be Wacomas, Bison, Hennessy, up and down Highway 81. It's moving pretty much off to the east at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, so not much movement with that right now. So here's the deal. The immediate Edmond area, Oklahoma City area, more Norman, more clear right now, but the trend is slowly going to be that these storms try to dive farther south as we go deeper into the evening hours. We're going to send you back to programming right now. We're going to do a lot more updates as the night goes on. And of course, the minute anything changes, we'll be right here. Stay with News 4. We'll keep you forewarned.
Blakely had lost her father a few months before camp, my late husband, after a brief battle with cancer, and then her uncle died in June, my brother. So we were happy for her to spend time outdoors and just be a kid.
Blakely, Ellen, and more than 500 campers arrived on June 29, 2025, spread across cabins near the river and up on higher ground. Blakely was assigned to a cabin called Twins 1, one of two interconnected cabins about 4 the river. Ellen got Bubble Inn right next door, and Ainsley was a few steps away in Gigglebox, one of 3 counselors responsible for 16 young campers aged 8. So if younger kids would have been staying closer to the river?
Yes.
The camp settled into its usual rhythm of games, activities, and Sunday devotionals. Ellen went fishing and joined the crafts group. As the end of the first week neared, she and her sister looked forward to the big July 4th celebration.
On July 3rd, Gwen went to her cabin. They were having a dance party. And kissed Ellen goodnight, and Ellen kissed her cheek. They said they loved each other.
Outside,